Sydney Drinkwater, we love you dearly. My wife loves you very much. You're a wonderful friend of ours. Sydney asked this question: if you've been using the chosen transgender pronouns for a close relative just to maintain relationship, this is very common. How would you gracefully bring up the truth or change your stance on the pronouns and the name? So this is going to be a common question, actually, because if what you guys are saying steers people in a new direction, now we're into the practical element of, hey, great, truth, rah, rah, awesome. You just put the stake in the ground and now we agree. Well, now help me work that out with family that I've worked things out with already that we disagree on.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram Live as well. So fearsome technology synergy here. I've never done this, so I'm trying. This is a tough one, because we're going to be in some entrenched patterns when it comes to transgender pronoun usage. This isn't an easy question. Jesus said that he came to bring a sword. He came to divide. That's not the Jesus we often talk about, by the way. We talk about the nice, neat and clean Jesus who always uses an inside voice and wears exactly the Dockers khakis that his mom picked out for in the morning. But in reality, the Jesus of the New Testament and the Jesus of the Bible is a Jesus with fire in his eyes. And he's a Jesus who comes and calls undeserving sinners to himself, and that includes all of us, but who nonetheless divides households. He divides child from parents. He divides cousins from uncles and aunts, so on and so forth, brother from sister. And so we're experiencing that afresh in our generation. But in truth, this is nothing new. This is the way it has always been in following Jesus. So even if you're not necessarily talking about the finer points of Christology, you have to recognize that Christianity is a whole life system of discipleship, and it is fundamentally anchored in divine truth. What this means for relationships with family members, let's say, or friends who buy a different pronoun usage than their birth sex, is that if we have bought the kind of soft evangelical line in past days that all we need to do is love the person, love this individual, that's what Christian love looks like. It looks like affirming them and maybe calling for faith in Jesus, but basically affirming them in their sin, then we're going to need to recognize that there's a new day dawning, and that the biblical Jesus calls us to courage and to truth telling. And this means that the biblical Jesus, in the course of this relationship, would have us probably say something like this: I have been calling you by these pronouns, by this name. I no longer can do so. And you're not saying this in an angry way. You're not saying this in a dismissive way. You're not trying to win an argument even. You might lose this argument, okay? But you are making very clear that you no longer can do this. So someone out there, some Christian leader might have said, use their pronouns, do whatever, it doesn't even matter. And Gavin and I are saying it absolutely matters. You have to use the pronouns that correspond to their birth sex, and use that further as an opportunity. Gavin talked about this a few minutes ago, to share the gospel with this individual and say, I am not using your preferred pronouns, not because I hate you, but because I love you. I can't affirm you or anyone else or myself in patterns of sin. That is fundamentally hateful, even if it feels loving. So it may feel loving in the moment, but not be truly loving. Use this as a gospel opportunity. We sometimes want to avoid the hard moments, but like Gavin said a minute ago, John the Baptist used his moment when Herod was sinning against the Lord to call him to righteous behavior. And that is the gospel opportunity that we don't have necessarily with a figure like Herod. We may, but we have all around us, and we need to not be avoiding or shirking.